Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to get your project ready to put a finish on. In addition to that, I'm going to show you how to make wood filler. And sometimes you're going to have a little gap in between the pieces of wood and you need to fill them in with a little wood filler. And of course you have to make them yourself because you really want the color to match, and that's the key ingredient. In addition, I'm going to show you different types of abrasive papers that we're going to use to sand it. And then we're going to sand the whole project down and have it ready to be finished. So I'm going to show you that today. Here on your project you can see that you have little gaps here, and so we need to make some wood filler to put it into the gap. And you could actually buy wood filler, but you know the colors never matches up, and the best thing to do is you need to make your own, and I'm going to show you how to do it. To make wood filler, you need the following ingredients. You need the sawdust that comes from your project. So this is pine, and that is the sawdust from pine that we actually shaved or sanded. And you're also going to need an adhesive. You could use yellow glue to mix it with, but this takes about 30 minutes. So what I use is I use epoxy, a 5-minute resin epoxy. And this will dry in 5 minutes, which will be much quicker. And when you mix wood filler, you're going to need a stirring stick, and you're going to first of all put parts A and part B together, and you're going to need about probably the same amount of size. So let's say we need about a dime's size of material. You squirt them next to each other. Okay, as you can see that. Then once you mix part A and part B together, they will start to harden because this is a chemical reaction. So mix it thoroughly. Okay, and then once it's mixed, add a little sawdust to it. You don't need a lot, just enough to fill it in and add some color to it. Now you could do this with any type of sawdust. You can, if your wood is walnut, go get walnut sawdust. If it's cherry, go get cherry, and it will match the color. It is actually cheaper than it is to go out and buy the different color wood filler. Alright, so once you have that, you're then going to find your gaps. And I do have one here. And you just apply it. Like so. Everywhere there's a gap. So there's a little gap here. And let's see, I can find one here. I see one here. And make sure you fill in all your nail marks wherever you nailed and you countersunk your wood already, your nails in, and fill it all in. So if there was one here, make sure you fill it in, and so forth. I've done that already for you. Okay, so you can see how this will be ready to be sanded. Now this will only take about 5 to maybe 8 minutes to dry. It's very, very quick. And then we could proceed on to the next step, which will be sanding the project down to its final finish. All right, so we got to make sure there are no gaps anywhere. Make sure it's filled. Okay, there on the edges, on the sides, and here. Then we just wait for about 5-10 minutes, then we'll come back to it, and we'll see how it looks. Now you can test to see if it's dry by checking your stick that you put inside your piece of paper here with mixed in, and if it starts to harden, then you know it will be ready to be sanded. Okay. So now this is a little rougher on the bottom, so we're going to switch modes and use the Rotex mode, which actually is a more coarser mode. Now, after you got your project all sanded on the outside, we need to do the inside. We can do that by hand because we can't get the machine in there. So that's why we start with the machine first, and now we're going to sand it by hand. So we're going to start with the 60, and then we're going to go over everything that has to be sanded. Now you want to round your edges slightly just a little bit, so you actually want to soften the edges. To make it look like that, just a little rounder. Try to get the camera right there. Okay, so proceed on. This is also called breaking the edge. Again, you want to sand with the grain, never away from it. Remove all pen and pencil marks, all nicks, all dents, and any imperfections. Around the inside of the handle also, because you're going to put your hand in there, you want to be nice and smooth. You could wrap this with a dowel and then try to go back and forth if you wanted to, but my hands do fit in here. And we're going to round the edges up. Okay. All right, that's the 80 grit. Now we're going to start with the 100 or the 150. All right, now it's ready to be clear coated. And we're going to put a finish on it today.